We call it the rabbit hole. It's that feeling you get at 3 a.m. when the autoplay function takes you away from the safe, polished side of YouTube, the music videos, the tutorials, the vlogs, and drops you into the dark underbelly of the platform. Here, the algorithm breaks. Here, the thumbnails are blurry, the titles are nonsense, and the content feels wrong. For nearly 2 decades, YouTube has been the world's video archive. It holds our history, our comedy, and our creativity. But it also holds things that shouldn't exist. Videos that feel like they carry a virus. Videos that, once watched, stay in your memory forever. Some are art projects gone wrong. Some are elaborate hoaxes. And some are genuine glimpses into madness, crime, or the supernatural. Tonight, we are not just watching funny clips. We are examining the cursed tier of the internet. We are looking at 4 videos that have become legendary not for their quality, but for the sheer, primal dread they inspire. These are videos that have sparked FBI investigations, fueled decades of conspiracy theories, and sent chills down the spines of millions. Prepare yourself. We are descending into the dark. There is a specific type of fear known as the uncanny valley. It is the revulsion we feel when we see something that looks human, but isn't quite human enough. It's a survival instinct, a warning from our lizard brain that says, this thing is an imposter. No video on the internet captures the uncanny valley quite like I Feel Fantastic. Uploaded in 2009 by a user named Creepy Blog, the video is simple, static, and fundamentally terrifying. It features an animatronic woman. She has pale, plastic skin, stiff blonde hair, and dead, unblinking eyes. She is dressed in a strange, mismatched outfit. The camera is fixed on her as she moves in jerky, unnatural spasms. But it's the audio that truly haunts you. A synthesized, vocoded voice, devoid of any emotion or breath, sings a simple, repetitive melody. I feel fantastic. Hey, hey, hey. I feel fantastic. The camera cuts to different angles. A close-up of her plastic hands, a shot of her stiff torso, and then a zoom in on her face as she sings the refrain again. I feel fantastic. The song is maddening. It's catchy in the worst possible way, a loop of electronic madness. But then, the video takes a turn. Between the shots of the robot singing, there is a brief, inexplicable cut to a shot of a backyard. It's a simple patch of grass, zoomed in. Then, back to the robot. Then, back to the grass. The internet, naturally, began to dig. And the theories they unearthed turned this weird tech demo into a legend of true crime. Viewers noticed that the robot's clothes didn't fit quite right. They noticed the strange, obsessive focus on her hands. And they noticed the location of the video, a sterile, nondescript room. The most popular theory is that the robot, named Tara, was built by a serial killer. The theory goes that the creator had killed a woman, perhaps named Tara, and was so obsessed with her that he built a robot in her likeness to keep her with him forever. The clothes the robot wears, they belong to the victim. The voice, a synthesized version of her screams. And that shot of the grass, the theory claims that is the burial site. The killer is taunting us. He is showing us the perfect woman he built, singing about how fantastic she feels, and then cutting to the grave where the real woman lies rotting in the dirt. The reality, as we eventually found out, is slightly less murderous but equally strange. The robot was the creation of a man named John Bergeron. He wasn't a killer. He was an amateur inventor and musician who built Tara to be the world's first android pop star. He wanted to tour with her. The video wasn't a ransom note, it was a demo tape. He genuinely thought people would enjoy Tara's music. But this explanation almost makes it scarier. It means that someone spent hundreds of hours in a garage, painstakingly molding that face, programming those jerky movements, and composing that soul-crushing song, thinking, this is beautiful. It speaks to a level of delusion and isolation that is deeply unsettling. John Bergeron eventually disappeared from the internet. He stopped posting. Tara the android was never seen again. But the video remains. It sits on YouTube with millions of views, a digital monument to a dream that looked like a nightmare. And even knowing the truth, when you stare into Tara's dead, plastic eyes and hear that flat, robotic, hey, hey, hey. You can't help but wonder if there really is something buried under that patch of grass. If I Feel Fantastic is scary because of what might be fake, Blank Room Soup is scary because of what looks terrifyingly real. The video surfaced around 2005 or 2006, originating on the dark corners of the deep web before migrating to YouTube. The footage is grainy, low quality, and looks like it was filmed on a camcorder in a dungeon. The setting is a room with peeling paint and a dirt floor. In the center sits a man. He is shirtless. His face is blurred or pixelated in some versions, but in others, you can see a black bar across his eyes. He is sitting at a table, eating a bowl of soup with a large spoon. But he isn't just eating. He is crying. He is sobbing uncontrollably. His shoulders heave. He shovels the soup into his mouth with a desperate, frantic energy, as if he is being forced to eat. He looks terrified. Then, things get weird. Two figures enter the frame. They are wearing costumes. Cheap, mascot-style costumes. One looks like a generic humanoid with a giant, round head. The other looks like a bird or a duck. They don't speak. They just move around him. One of them approaches the man and begins to pat him on the back. It looks comforting at first, but the man flinches. He shrinks away, crying harder. The mascots move with a strange, menacing energy. They stroke his head. They stand over him. The video ends with the man still eating, still crying, trapped in this bizarre, nightmarish tableau. The internet dubbed this video blankroomsoup.avi, or torture soup, and almost immediately, a horrifying backstory emerged. The theory centers around the costumes. These weren't just random suits. They were supposedly characters created by an artist named Raymond Percy, known as RayRay. RayRay was a performance artist who used these suits in his shows. However, shortly before the video appeared, RayRay claimed that his storage unit had been broken into. The only things stolen were the costumes. A few weeks later, the video appeared online. The implication was clear: the people in the suits were not the artist. They were thieves. And the man eating the soup? He was a victim. The most pervasive rumor is that the man had been kidnapped. He was being held in a basement. The soup he was eating wasn't soup. The theory, and this is truly graphic, claims that the man was being forced to eat the remains of his own wife or family member. The comforting pats from the mascots were mocking him. Eat up. It's good, isn't it? Wait, it gets worse. The uploader of the video allegedly began sending cryptic emails to people who inquired about it. One famous YouTuber who investigated the case claimed to receive an email from the uploader that contained hidden coordinates and gibberish text. When decoded, the text supposedly said things like, "We have him," or "He is still eating." Is it real? Or is it the greatest piece of performance art horror ever made? Skeptics argue that the man's crying sounds a bit theatrical. They point out that the connection to RayRay might have been a publicity stunt for the artist himself. But RayRay has gone on record denying any involvement, stating that the video genuinely creeped him out and that the costumes were stolen. If it is a hoax, it is a masterpiece of atmosphere. The dirty room, the silence, the juxtaposition of the silly, childish mascots with the raw, visceral misery of the man. It taps into a fear of absurdity, that your end might not come with dignity, but in a dirty room, surrounded by people in duck costumes, forcing you to consume something unspeakable while they laugh at your tears. It is a cursed video in the truest sense. Once you see it, you feel dirty. You feel like you've witnessed a crime. In October 2015, the tech blog GadgetZZ received a strange letter in the mail. It was a physical envelope, mailed from Poland. Inside was a CD. Written on the CD, in Sharpie, was a string of characters. 11B-X-1371. Curious, the editor put the CD into his computer. There was a single video file on the disk. He played it. What he saw sparked one of the largest internet investigations in history. The video is filmed in black and white, in a crumbling, abandoned building. Standing in the center of the frame is a person wearing a medieval plague doctor's outfit, the long black cloak, the wide-brimmed hat, and the terrifying, beaked mask. For 2 minutes, the figure simply stands there. But they aren't still. They twitch. They rotate their head. They raise a hand, which contains a blinking light embedded in the palm. The soundtrack is a hideous, grating noise, a cacophony of buzzing, static, and distorted beeps. But the internet quickly realized that the video wasn't just scary, it was a puzzle. The video was filled with hidden data. The buzzing sound wasn't just noise, it was a spectrogram. When users ran the audio through a visualizer, the sound waves formed images. And the images were disturbing. One spectrogram image showed a skull. Another showed a sequence of letters. But the most terrifying image hidden in the sound was a photo of a woman being tortured. It was a grainy, low-res image, but it clearly showed a woman bound and gagged. Panic set in. Was this a snuff film? Was this a killer announcing his next victim? The sleuths of Reddit and 4chan went to work. They analyzed every frame. They found Morse code blinking in the light on the figure's hand. They found binary code hidden in the flashes of the screen. They translated the ciphers. The messages were threatening. One translated to, "You have 1 year or less." Another was a set of coordinates. When plugged into Google Maps, the coordinates pointed to the White House in Washington, D.C. Another set of coded text read, "Red lips like 10th." This was an anagram for "Kill the President." The video appeared to be a biological terror threat. The plague doctor imagery, the 1 year or less warning, the target of the White House. It looked like a warning of a coming virus or attack. The fear was so real that the Department of Homeland Security and the FBI allegedly got involved. The location of the video was tracked down to an abandoned sanitarium in Poland, known as Zofioka Sanatorium, a place with a dark history of mental illness and Nazi occupation. For months, the internet held its breath. Who made 11B-X-1371? Was it a terrorist cell? A serial killer taunting the police? Eventually, a man named Parker Wright came forward. He claimed to be the creator. He released proof, photos of the mask, the props, and the raw files. His explanation? It was art. He wanted to see if he could create a puzzle that would break the internet. He wanted to disturb people, to wake them up. The images of torture were pulled from obscure horror movies, not real crimes. The world let out a collective sigh of relief. But the video retains its power. Even knowing it was an art project, watching 11B-X-1371 feels dangerous. The sheer amount of effort, the layers of encryption, the specific, targeted threats, it feels like the work of a mind that is dangerously organized. It is a reminder of how easily we can be manipulated by symbols of fear, and how a single CD sent in the mail can hold the entire world hostage with nothing but static and a mask. Our final story is the most grounded, and therefore, the most repulsive. This isn't an art project. It isn't a robot. It isn't a staged hoax. It is a genuine, documented piece of criminal evidence that somehow found its way onto YouTube. The video is titled "Grave Robbing for Morons." The backstory is murky, but the generally accepted timeline is that a young man found a VHS tape at a flea market or a bootleg tape trading convention in the early 90s. The tape had no label. He bought it, took it home, and watched it. The footage is handheld, shaky, and raw. It features a young man, presumably in his late teens or early 20s, whom the internet has dubbed Anthony. Anthony is the host of the video. He speaks to the camera with a stutter, a nervous, frantic energy. "Today," he says, "we're going to show you how to rob a grave." He isn't joking. The video follows Anthony as he leads the cameraman into an old, overgrown cemetery. He talks casually, almost cheerfully, about the art of grave robbing. He explains which graves are best to target, the older ones, the ones that look forgotten. He talks about tools. He talks about the police. Then he starts digging. We watch as he unearths a grave. He pulls out bones. He handles them with zero respect, treating human remains like trash. He cracks jokes. He holds up a femur and waves it at the camera. But the centerpiece of the video, the moment that turns your stomach, is when he finds a skull. Anthony cleans off the skull. He holds it up, staring into its empty sockets. And then he kisses it. He starts talking to it. He calls it his girlfriend. He puts it in his backpack to take home. Throughout the video, Anthony mentions names. He mentions a neighborhood. He gives away just enough detail to make you realize this is happening in a real place, to a real person's ancestors. The video ends with Anthony back in his room, showing off his collection. Skulls, bones, jewelry stolen from the dead. When this footage hit the internet, people were horrified. This wasn't a ghost story, this was a desecration. A massive hunt began to identify Anthony. Remarkably, the internet detectives succeeded. They analyzed the tombstones seen in the video. They cross-referenced the names. They eventually pinpointed the cemetery to a specific location in the United States. It turned out, Anthony was a real person, and his history was as dark as the tape suggested. The video was apparently part of a teenage exploitation ring, where kids would film themselves doing illegal or shocking things to trade with others. Grave robbing for morons is cursed because it strips away the sanctity of death. We like to believe that when we die, we rest in peace. We believe that our graves are sacred ground. This video shows us the ugly truth, that to some people, we are just objects. That there are people walking around who see a cemetery not as a memorial, but as a shopping mall. The tape is gritty, dirty, and profoundly disrespectful. Watching it feels like you are an accomplice to the crime. It is a window into a type of human depravity that doesn't require violence, only a complete and total lack of empathy. It remains one of the most hated, yet watched, videos in the history of the dark web. The rabbit hole is deep. We started with a singing robot, moved to a torture chamber, solved a global puzzle, and ended in a desecrated grave. These 4 videos represent the 4 corners of YouTube's cursed geography. The uncanny valley, the unexplained mystery, the intellectual threat, and the banality of evil. They are reminders that the internet is not just a mirror of our best selves. It is a mirror of our worst. It captures our delusions, our cruelties, and our madness. And the scary part isn't that these videos exist. The scary part is that we can't stop watching them. We are drawn to the cursed. We want to see what lies in the dark. So, tonight, when you turn off your computer and the screen goes black, and you see your own reflection in the glass, just hope that the algorithm doesn't follow you into your dreams. Good night.